Whether you use subcontractors or not, you will for sure need to add in your own users. So users in Yeti, on the left-hand side here, are going to be your own internal employees. So let's quickly go over what we can do to add in an internal employee should we need to do so in the middle of an event or before the season starts. We can click the Create a User button in the top right corner. We can add in a user's name. At this point, I'll show you in a minute why we may or may not need to include an email or a phone number. The other piece of information that's going to be necessary will be a password. And I can do this here too. And last, the final mandatory item here, we'll need to choose a role. So for right now, I'm going to choose Yeti Admin. As an administrator on the Yeti account, this user will be able to log in online and on the mobile app. And when they log in online, they'll have access to everything that we're going to see right now. There's nothing they can't do. However, if I wanted to give this person finance role, this person would then not be able to access my company settings in the top right corner. If I wanted to give this user operations role, this user would not be able to access the settings, and this user would not be able to access the reports listed below, the billing and the subcontractor report. All three of these users would be able to log in on the Yeti mobile app. The last user with any ability to log in, that is, would be operator. I would say probably 90% of the users that you add will end up being operators. The operator can only log in to the Yeti mobile app. And again, the Yeti mobile app experience will not change for any of these four users. The last person here is going to be a crew member. And when I click crew member, you're going to see a lot of this information go away. When I select crew member, this person cannot even log in on the mobile app. They can't log in at all. They can only be selected as a member of a crew. Now let's go back up to operator. If I create an operator account, I only need to add in a phone number. If I want to create an operations, finance, or admin account, I will also need to include an email address. That's because these three users can log in online. So that's the only absolutely necessary information you have to add a user. Let's go over the stuff that's not mandatory. If I want to, I can add in an hourly rate. And let's say we're going to pay John Doe $25 per hour. If I have an employee ID for John Doe, I can enter that here as well. I can also include some notes. If I need to change their time zone, I certainly can. And I can also include files here. So if I have a driver's license for this user, I can include this here. Any other specific information I may keep user to user, I can store it here within Yeti to then reference. Down below here, I can also add tags. So tags will be something that we can access in users, sites, and routes. And tags are best thought of as a customizable filter. We will be able to filter by tags in our reports later on and also in our dispatch screen. So in this case, we may want to add a tag such as operator, or we may want to add a tag such as sidewalk crew. I can then filter out to see exactly who on my sidewalk crew is working in my dispatch screen and do the same thing later on in employee timesheets. Down below here, if I'm using the QuickBooks Online integration for my employee timesheets, I can also connect this user, John Doe in this case, to my QuickBooks account. Up at the top, if I need to, I could add in a home address for the user, and I can also add in a phone number. Just note, this phone number is not connected at all to the phone here. So if I need to include a phone number to get this user to be able to use Yeti, I still need to include the phone number right here. This is basically just a reference for you. So you can include a home phone or an office phone if you need to. Once that's complete, you simply save the user and you now have created a user in Yeti. And again, much like with subcontractors, there's no limit to the amount of users that you can include here. So feel free to add as many as you need. And if you have any questions for us, please reach out to onboarding@yetisnow.com.